This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational material.
The role of heredity in shaping and physical self. Explore how genetics influence physical traits, inherited condition, and predispositions. Heredity plays a crucial role in shaping the physical self by transmitting genetic information from parents to offspring, influencing a wide range of traits such as height, body structure, facial features, skin, hair, and eye color. It, it is also determines the risk of inheriting certain genetic disorders like cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and hemophilia. Beyond visible traits, heredity contributes to genetics predispositions to health conditions such as obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Although these may be influenced by environmental factors and lifestyle choices.
The topic that I'm going to discuss here today is all about the interplay between heredity and environment. So, understanding the interplay between heredity and environment, the physical self is shaped by a complex interplay between heredity and environment. Both factors contribute to an individual's physical characteristic, traits, and overall health. Genetic predispositions. Predispositions refers to the increased likelihood of developing a certain health condition or traits based on genetic factors. Epigenetics is the study of how environmental factors affect gene expression, influencing physical traits and health. Environmental factors like diet, stress, and lifestyle can impact physical characteristics and health outcomes. For example, genetic predisposition to diabetes. A person with a family history of diabetes may be more likely to develop the condition if they have a poor diet and sedentary lifestyle. The next one example is epigenetic changes. Exposure to toxin or stress during pregnancy can affect gene expression in the developing fetus, influencing health outcomes later in life. So, the interplay between heredity and environment is complex and dynamic understanding. This relationship can help individuals take proactive steps to maintain optimal physical health and reduce the risk of health problems. That's all.
So now, we're going to learn about the dominant and recessive genes, the tiny instructions in our body that help decide things like our eye color, how tall we are, and even whether we inherit certain disorders. So, what are dominant and recessive genes? Genes come in pairs, one from our mom and one from our dad. These genes pairs are called alleles. Sometimes one of them is stronger. This is called dominant genes. Then the weaker one is called a recessive gene. If the dominant gene is present, it usually controls the trait we see. The recessive one only shows up if we get it from both parents. So how do they affect traits? Let's take eye color as an example. Brown eyes come from a dominant gene, while blue eyes come from a recessive gene. If you get one brown and one blue gene, your eyes will be brown because brown is stronger. If you get two blue genes, then you'll have blue eyes. For height, it's more complicated. Many genes work together to decide how tall you will be, and things like food and health also matter. And now, we are going to talk about their similarities. Dominant and recessive genes might be different in strength, but they're both types of alleles. Both come from your parents, both help build your physical traits, and both can carry diseases, even if they don't show them right away. And now, here's their differences. Dominant genes only need one copy to show their effect. Recessive genes need two. So if you get a brown eye gene and a blue eye gene, brown wins. You'll only have one blue eyes if you get two blue genes. This is why some traits like blue eyes or certain disorders, skip generations. So how those disorders are inherited? Some genetic disorders happen because of these dominant and recessive patterns. If a disorder is caused by a dominant gene, it only takes one faulty gene to have the condition, like Huntington's disease. But for recessive disorders, like cystic fibrosis, both genes have to be faulty. If only one is faulty, the person is a carrier. They won't have the disease, but they can pass the gene to the other children.
The physical self is how we see and understand our body, our appearance, features, height, weight, and overall look. So it plays an important role in forming a self-concept, or the way we think and feel about ourselves. So there are three main parts of self-concept. So these are the physical self-esteem, body image, and identity. So the first is self-esteem. So self-esteem refers to our sense of self-worth, how much we value and respect ourselves. Our appearance can affect this. So people who are happy with how they look often feel more confident and positive. So on the other hand, those who feel uncomfortable or unhappy about their appearance may struggle with low self-esteem. So the physical changes, comments from others, and comparison with people in media can all influence this. So the second is body image. So the body image is the mental picture we have of our own body and how we feel about it. So a person with a positive body image accepts and appreciates their body as it is. So a person with a negative body image may feel ashamed, embarrassed, or insecure about how they look. So this negative image can lead to anxiety, depression, or unhealthy behaviors such as extreme dieting or avoiding social situations. Today, social media and beauty standards have a strong impact on how young people, especially teenagers, feel about their bodies. So number 3 is the identity. So identity is the way we see ourselves as a person. It includes our personality, values, beliefs, and sometimes our physical traits. Physical appearance can become a big part of identity, especially when it is noticed or commented on by others. So for example, someone may see being tall, athletic, or fashionable as an important part of who they are. So culture and society also shape identity by setting beauty standards and gender expectations, so which can pressure people to look or act a certain way.
Environmental influences on physical development examine factors such as nutrition, climate, physical activity, exposure to toxins, and socioeconomic status. Nutrition and physical development. We have 3 types on nutrition and physical development. Number 1, impact on growth. Adequate nutrition is essential for growth and development, particularly during critical periods such as infancy and adolescence. Number 2, micronutrients deficiency. Deficiencies is micronutrients like iron, vitamin D, and iodine, and can impact physical development and increase the risk of health problems. Number 3, material nutrition. Material nutrition is during pregnancy can influence fetal development and birth outcomes. Understanding the impact of these environmental factors on physical development is crucial for promoting healthy growth and development across the lifespan.
Cultural and social influences on the perception of the physical self. Discuss beauty standards, media influence, and cultural differences in body perception. Number 1. Beauty standards. Society often establish ideal body type, facial feature, and appearances that define beauty. These standards can vary greatly by culture and time period. For example, Western cultures often idealize thinness, while other cultures may value fuller body types as a sign of health and wealth. These ideals can influence self-esteem and body image.
Number 2, media influence. Television, social media, and movies and advertisements frequently promote unrealistic and digitally altered images of the ideal body. Constant exposure to these images can lead to body dissatisfaction, low self-confidence, and even eating disorders, especially among adolescents. Number 3, cultural differences in body perception. Different cultures have unique views on what constitutes an ideal body. In some cultures, scars, tattoos, or body modifications can signs of beauty or status, while in others, they may be seen negatively. Cultural practices, religion, belief, and traditional norms all shape how individuals perceive and evaluate their physical selves.